What happens though, what complicates things very honestly is policymakers will look and say, well, you have cases. So what's been really wild to me is we have right to repair legislations or movement, and then policymakers will say, well, because you have cases, we don't need to include automotive. So then we get taken out of that, and so that's the crazy that sort of is happening in the background too. So the other thing I'll say is we're technicians, so we are wired to fix problems. Now, if you and I run into a situation where we can't fix something, we're going to find a way. Never mind that we're business owners. We're going to find a way. Mm-hmm. So we almost, it's a disservice almost in a way, because we're now finding different ways of trying to get access to the information. Or, I mean, how many times did I call up my buddy at whatever dealer and say, hey, like, do you know anything about this?
I meant to say it wouldn't be the first time we've taken a vehicle to the dealer to have to get it programmed.
Right.
Like, I mean, we have no choice.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. So the right to repair issue is, there's, again, same thing, so many layers. And again, if we're not the one though to advocate, who else is going to stand up for you and say, this is nuts?
So what concerns you over the next decade when it comes to the right to repair? What are your concerns for the whole situation? Now that you are actually, I view you as a important role, being the voice of our independent repair shops.